This is the Conscious Hour. It's Wednesday, the 17th of January, and people are excited about the ceasefire. Don't you think it could have happened a long time ago? And why now? Well, it's perfect timing. They have to have a celebration that Biden did something, so he got the ceasefire. And Anthony Blinken, they were successful. They could have had a ceasefire in March. But now, let's listen to another perspective and their concerns about really what's going on. Remember one thing: Jared Kushner was in Gaza in April promoting waterfront real estate, and Trump's right-hand advisor is a Zionist and a real estate developer. We have a ceasefire right now. Well, that's good. Everybody can say Biden did good.
As Hamas and PIJ and the PFLP, etc., he could be a real unifying figure that could lead to something a little bit more cohesive between the West Bank and Gaza in the future. We'll see if that comes to pass within these hostage negotiations and the ceasefire deal. What's frustrating, though, what is infuriating out of all of this, given that this deal that we're looking at right now, this ceasefire deal, is markedly similar to the one that was proposed months and months and months ago. Why is it taken until now? Why is it taken until now for a representative of the American government, or not even the American government yet, the prospective American government, to go to Israel and tell Netanyahu to stop? Tell him, no nonsense, this has to end now. The ceasefire deal has to be agreed. I don't care about what you think about when we should meet or not. Let's meet, let's get this deal done, let's get it sorted. And now we have Trump taking the credit for a hostage negotiation on a deal that was done months and months ago. And how many people have been killed? How much blood has been spilled? How much of the genocide has continued for the months since that deal was originally drafted initially? And all it took was somebody just going over there and telling Israel to stop. That could have been done ages ago. That could have been done by the Biden administration or by Anthony Blinken or any of his underlings between then and now, and it hasn't been. It hasn't been at any point up until now. And it shows you, we obviously saw the people from the State Department who told The Guardian that they didn't actually have any plan. They didn't actually have any positions that they held. They were just doing what the Israelis told them to do and acquiesced to their every desire. We saw this again and again and again. Oh, well, invading Rafah is a red line. All these other things are red lines. All the red lines got passed, and the Biden administration did absolutely nothing. Did absolutely nothing. And it just shows you that if someone wants to go to the Israeli government and tell them to stop, there is historical precedent for this. There is plenty of historical precedent for this. Ronald Reagan, one of the most hawkish military presidents in American history, behind possibly George Bush, said to Menachem Begin during the 1982 invasion of Lebanon, called him up specifically and said, you have to stop, this is a Holocaust. And he used the word specifically because globally, internationally, the image people saw about that conflict was a 7-year-old with its arms blown off. And he specifically used those words to the Israeli prime minister at the time to get him to stop the invasion. And what happened? 20 minutes later, not 20 minutes later after Reagan had phoned up Menachem Begin, they had said, I have spoken to Ariel Sharon and we are going to stop the incursion. That's how much power the American president has to stop Israel doing what it's doing. In fact, to the point at which Ronald Reagan remarked to his aides that he didn't realize that he had this much power to stop Israel doing what it was doing. And this just shows, given what's happened, when all it took was Stephen Witkoff going to Netanyahu and telling him to stop, that they have stopped. That was an option that was always on the table. It was always on the table for the Biden administration. They could have stopped this point blank whenever they wanted. Whenever they wanted, they could have stopped this. And they have chosen not to. They have chosen not to do this. So much for cementing Biden's legacy, having found a ceasefire agreement before the end of the presidency. He will only, and I mean only, be remembered for the man who let a genocide happen under his watch, with his money and with his weapons. And that will be his legacy forever.
Well, you couldn't say it any more direct than that, and that's reality. But, Americans, they'll just go, Biden did good, he stopped it, and they'll move on with their life. And that's the unfortunate part of America. We spend, literally, since Vietnam, hundreds of trillions of dollars committing genocide, war crimes, ethnic cleansing, infanticide around the world to steal resources. It could be resources like oil or gold or heroin or just whatever they want. But yet, Blinken, who's a known Zionist, kept saying, oh, we're working on a ceasefire. Let me ask you a question. If you were the President of the United States and you told Mr. Blinken in February, bring me a ceasefire deal, I don't want this on my hands. I don't want the blood on my hands. And Mr. Blinken didn't perform? Wow, I would have fired his ass. But no, we're working on a ceasefire. They weren't ready. Why weren't they ready? Because they had to literally dissolve the entire coastline of its inhabitants. Well, they're kind of in the way. But get rid of all those old buildings and stuff, because we have a new project we're going to build, the Greater Israel Project, where we're going to build the one in Gaza City, the beautiful one we've had dreams of for a long time. So the best way to get rid of all the buildings is not deconstruct them, is, hey, have a war. We could use billions of dollars of weapons and demolish everything, so when we want to clean it up, it's really easy. It's all in rubble. We can crush it all down and make white sand beaches out of cement and bodies and bones. Do you like the world we live in? Nope. Well, if you don't like what's happened, we all have an opportunity to pick up the phone and tell the U.S. Congress, never again. Never. But I guarantee you, this isn't over. This is merely a stall tactic. Why? Well, because of the Gaza City. And Jared Kushner was there promoting it in April, building a future Gaza City, and they have got big plans. The problem is, they still have a lot of Palestinians who live there, and now they're all going to come back to a blown out place. But maybe just in good faith, I have faith in the Israeli government, my U.S. government. They're going to build a beautiful Gaza City, and they're going to give all of those Palestinians free, brand new homes, waterfront real estate. What do you think? Put your comments in the comment box. I'd love to hear what you think about your government. But remember one thing, make the phone call. Shut it down, no more funding, nothing. And tell Mr. Trump, don't you dare continue this. But stay tuned, the clock is ticking.